Hi there, welcome back to my views on news. Two news stories. Firstly, secret meetings have been held between military commanders of the Ethiopian National Defense Force and Jubaland regional forces. Jubaland gave 15-day ultimatum to federal forces of Somalia to leave the regional state. So before the expiry of this deadline, key meetings have been held. Ethiopian troops are still in Jubaland. What are they planning? Will they support Jubaland forces against Federal Forces of Somalia? Secondly, an Ethiopian military officer joined Fano. He was interviewed around 8 hours ago by a journalist. Since yesterday, we have been hearing about his joining Fano, but we wanted to confirm. And a journalist took him live, and there the officer talked about what led to his becoming part of Fun. Let's start from Somalia. We know that Jubaland regional, state, and federal government of Somalia are involved in a face-off. Jubaland held election, indirect election. Madobe got himself elected for third consecutive term. Federal government rejected the election and issued arrest warrants of Ahmed Madobe, Jubaland president. Jubaland regional court issued arrest warrants of Hassan Sheikh, the president of Somalia. Jubaland announced suspension of all cooperation with federal government of Somalia. Jubaland regional government removed President Hassan Sheikh's pictures from government offices. Somalia's federal government mobilized its military and federal forces landed in Ras Kamboni in Jubaland, 300 kilometers away from Kismayo on Somalia-Kenya border. Federal forces were confronted by Jubaland regional forces. Some regional force members defected and they joined federal forces. They were taken to Mogadishu. Federal forces announced to expand their presence in Jubaland. But regional forces announced they won't let federal forces expand in Jubaland. Now, know that the role of Ethiopian troops was crucial in the last few days in Jubaland. Ethiopian troops, who are basically peacekeepers, they helped Ahmed Madobe's government. They did not allow federal forces to land in Jubaland before the holding of indirect election. They protected Jubaland's airports, and after election process was completed, Jubaland became accessible to federal forces, and federal forces landed in Ras Kamboni. Ras Kamboni is not under Ethiopian control; it's close to Kenya-Somalia border. The area where Ethiopian troops are deployed, there Ethiopian troops do not allow federal forces to land. Gaidu, entire Gaidu, almost all airports are under Ethiopian government control. Here, federal forces tried to arrive, but Ethiopian troops did not allow the landing of federal forces in Gaidu. Now, reportedly, two meetings have been held in the last 3 to 4 days between Ethiopian National Defense Force commanders and Jubaland Regional Force commanders. Obviously, meetings focused on the current situation in Jubaland, the standoff between the federal forces, Juba regional forces. What will happen after the expiry of 15-day ultimatum given by Jubaland forces? Jubaland tried to push federal forces out of its territory. And if a conflict, an armed conflict erupts, what will Ethiopian troops do? By the way, 31st of December is the last day for Ethiopian troops to stay in Somalia. After that, they'll have to leave, but no signs of their withdrawal so far. Why? Because they're being supported by regional states like Jubaland, like Southwest State. Now, Jubaland wants Ethiopian troops to ensure that no more federal forces land in Gaidu. Gaidu, is largely, Gaidu reports, largely under Ethiopian control. Well, government tried to mobilize some elements, some troops from border towards Gaidu, but so far, Gaidu, almost all airports are under Ethiopian military control. Jubaland is asking Ethiopia to stand with Jubaland in the standoff between Jubaland regional government and Somalia's federal government. Somalia, Ethiopia did support Jubaland in the last few weeks. That is how Jubaland indirect election was possible. But in case of escalation between federal and regional forces, will Ethiopian troops involve themselves directly? Or will they just involve themselves to the extent of stopping federal forces from landing in Gaidu? Jubaland wants direct Ethiopian military involvement. Ethiopia reportedly is not ready to involve directly in the conflict between Jubaland and Mogadishu. But Ethiopia is considering indirect support for Jubaland by denying entry to federal forces into Gaidu reportedly. One meeting was held in Dolu, another was held in Gode reportedly in the last few days. Again, the role of Ethiopian troops will be crucial if a military confrontation erupts between Jubaland and Mogadishu. Ethiopia playing its cards in a very clever manner. It is not involving itself directly, but through indirect intervention, it is definitely creating division in Somalia. Had there been no Ethiopian military presence in Jubaland, it would have been difficult for Jubaland to hold indirect election. So we'll have to wait. It seems that Ethiopian troops are not in the mood of withdrawing from Gaidu. They won't allow federal forces to land in Gaidu, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to see what happens after 31st of December. But key meetings underway. We'll have to wait to see the outcome of these meetings. Nothing will be made public, but hopefully we'll get information from inside about what the two sides have agreed on. Two sides, Ethiopian and Jubaland sides. Secondly, viewers, an Ethiopian military officer has joined Fano. He announced his joining the Fano yesterday, but we're waiting for confirmation. He was interviewed by a journalist a few hours ago, and he confirmed that he had joined Fano. When you arrest military officers again and again, and you mistrust them, what will they do? They will join Fano. He's an Amhara, and he served in the Ethiopian National Defense for 34 years. He was the head of bomb squad. He's very skilled in dealing with ammunition, dealing with how to defuse bombs. And he worked as the head of this bomb squad from 2015 till 2022. He served in different positions. He fought during Tigray War too. He traveled to several Western countries for foreign training. So he is a highly skilled officer, a colonel. His name is Abira Azannau. Abira Azannau says that he went to Gondar a few months ago. He was arrested. He was accused of trying to join Fano, though he was there to meet his family members. That's what he said. He was arrested. He was shifted to Azizo, Ethiopian National Defense Force camp, which is near Gondar city. After a few months, he was released. Then he was arrested in Addis Ababa again. He was accused of supporting, organizing, backing Fano. And he was then moved to Russia camp, which is detention camp in Addis Ababa. He was freed, and after that, he decided to join Fano. And the reason he cited for joining Fano is that what he saw at Russia camp, detention camp in Addis Ababa was alarming. It was tragic. People suffering there. So for the sake of the protection of the rights of Amhara people, he decided to join Fano. So he's one of the senior lot from the military who has joined Fano. Framamu, Tazara, and now Colonel Colonel Abera as a now. The three top men worked in senior positions in security on regional federal level, and now they have become part of Fano. That's why I say that Fano, with every passing day, is getting bigger, stronger. Yes, it's not going to reach Addis Ababa tomorrow, but you cannot deny the expansion in the capabilities of Fano groups. Thank you for watching.